Jai Shri Ram. This is the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This is from the book by Swami Nikhilananda of Ramakrishna Mutt, Advaita Ashram. The way of realization. I don't like this title because it should be called Vijnana Yoga. That was the name given by Adi Shankaracharya. Why should we introduce these English names? Or in case if you do want to put it there, because some people like me, don't really know Sanskrit. I have struggled. Well, I have learnt a little now. But a complete foreigner would not understand. Therefore, maybe these English titles are okay. But why should we omit the original Sanskrit names? Actually, Vijnana is untranslatable into English. Because English would say Jnana and Vijnana, both are knowledge only. Because there is no such nuance in English. Now, chapter 7 is Vijnana Yoga. And on top, that is my mnemonic. ASK, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Atma Samyama Yoga is sometimes called as Dhyana Yoga. And seventh one is Vijnana Yoga, which is what we are reading right now. Akshara Parabrahma, eighth one. Ninth is Raja Vidya Raja Guhya. And the 10th is Vibhuti. 11th is Vishwarupa. Bhakti Yogamu. Kshetra Kshetrajna Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Purushottama Prapti. Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. So these are the names, original names as given by Adi Shankaracharya. Now the 7th chapter, Vijnana Yoga. The Lord said, "Here, O Partha, how with your mind attached to me and taking refuge in me and practicing yoga, you will without any doubt know me in full." So, Maya Sakta Manapata Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yadhagnasyasi Tachrunu. I shall teach you in full both knowledge and experience, which being known, nothing more remains here for you to know. This shloka is important. और कुछ सीखने के लिए बचा नहीं है. There's nothing else to be known. Why? You should ask a question. Knowledge of the world is necessary to make money. पैसा कमाने के लिए. पुरुषार्थ, धर्म, अर्थ, काम, मोक्ष. For artha, it is necessary. But for moksha, something higher is necessary. That's what Krishna is teaching. Because nothing higher than moksha exists. Now, another example we can take is, see, gold can be made into a million different types of ornaments. You may not know the names of all the ornaments, but if you know gold, then you don't have to bother about anything else. Even if you don't know the names of the ornaments, it doesn't matter because you know gold. That is an analogy. I think it will help us understand this shloka better. Nothing else remains to be known. See, the world is born out of Krishna and merges in Krishna. Jnana is the world. Jnana is knowledge of the world. And knowing that there is nothing other than Krishna, that is Vijnana. So the world is full of ornaments, like I gave you the example of gold. And Vijnana is knowing that there is only gold here. All these ornaments have a temporary existence because the ornament can be melted. Ornament really does not have any existence. It exists for some time as long as its shape is retained. The moment it is melted down, it becomes gold. So, the fulcrum, the basis, the foundation of all these ornaments is gold. Similarly, knowing things of the world, jnana, and knowing that only Krishna exists, vijnana. Right? So, one more example we can take. You can quench your thirst only when you drink water. Anything else you drink, your thirst cannot be quenched. So, this world is so complex and so diverse that even yogis cannot make head or tail of it. So, that jnana is like that. Similarly, it is knowing Krishna is easier. That is the point here. It is easy to know the attributeless God. Because impersonal God, you can say, okay, impersonal God. That's all. There's no more to think. Therefore, that is the nirguna. Nirguna is very easy to understand. But saguna is infinite. So, if you are talking about saguna, so many bewildering forms are there. But these are all again Krishna. And knowledge is, that is Vijnana is, that there is only Krishna. Which is easier to understand. I hope it helped. So Vijnana is superior. I've given you, I think, 3 analogies here. Next, among thousands of men, one here and there strives for perfection, and of those who strive and succeed, one perchance knows me in truth. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatama visiddhanam kaschinmam veti tatvataha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, understanding and ego, such is the eightfold division of my nature. This is my lower nature. But different from it, no, mighty Arjuna, my higher nature, the indwelling spirit by which the universe is sustained. So knowledge of this lower nature is jnana, knowledge of that higher nature is vijnana, and higher nature is simply Krishna. Know that these two form the womb of all beings, and I am the origin of the entire universe and also its dissolution. So everything comes out of Krishna. And everything goes back into Krishna. There exists nothing, whatever, higher than I am. Dhananjaya, all is strung on me as a row of gems on a thread. So the next one, 8th. I am the saver of waters, O son of Kunti, the radiance of the sun and moon. I am the syllable Om. I am the syllable Om. In all the Vedas, the sound in ether and the manliness in man. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayoho pranavah sarva vedeshu shabda khe paurusham rushu. So Om is the impersonal form of Krishna. Remember that much. Pranavaha sarva vedeshu. Krishna is the Pranavaha. Pranava means Om. In all the Vedas, Om is Krishna. Krishna is represented by Om. Om is the impersonal form of Krishna. I am the sweet fragrance in earth and the brightness in fire. In all beings, I am the life and I am the austerity in ascetics. Punyo gandah prudivyancha tejaschasmi vibhavasam jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Know me, O son of Partha, to be the eternal seed of all things that exist. I am the intelligence of the intelligent and the daring of the brave. No, it's not brave there. It is Tejas. Tejas means glory, brilliance. In fact, Tejasvinamaham. Tejas means it's a divine trait which liberated, highly evolved spiritual beings. They possess a special aura which will transform even the most dissolute sinner. Even the most dissolute sinners will become virtuous. That is called Tejas. That's a divine trait. It's a special aura which highly spiritually evolved yogis they possess. Like people like Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. I am yet to see anybody with that kind of brilliance. There is, I dare say, that Tejas in our Prime Minister to a certain extent. So that is Tejas. It's an indescribable quality. It's not daring of the brave. Of course, somewhere here and there people call it bravery. But Tejas is not bravery. So the shloka is, Bijam mam sarvabhutanam viddhipartha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatamasmi. Buddhir buddhimatamasmi Tejas Tejasvinaham. In those people who possess this Tejas, Krishna is the Tejas. Wow. So just imagine. Now it makes, as you listen to me, I am trying to help you, and similarly at the same time I am also studying and thinking. So the beauty of Gita is every time you read, you will get fresh epiphanies. Epiphany is a flash of insight. And whatever things there be of the nature of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, know them all, know that they are all from me alone. I am not, however, in them, they are in me. This is a slightly difficult shloka to understand. The 12th one. Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasas tamasascha ye matta yeveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai. So, they all originate from me. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, they all originate from me. I am not, however, in them. They are in me. That's a supreme irony. Now, the only reasoning we can give here is, you see, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are perishable qualities which originate from Prakriti. Now, if Krishna exists in them, then he should perish when they perish. But Krishna cannot perish, therefore Krishna is not in them. And if they are in Krishna, they cannot perish, because anything in Krishna cannot perish, because Krishna is imperishable. Therefore, this mystery is very difficult to understand. They originate from him, but I am not, however, in them. They are in me. That is wrong. They are not in me. This translation is wrong. Now look at Sadhaka Sanjeevani, Ram Sukhdas ji of Gita Press. Same shloka. 7:12. Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasas tamasas chaye matta yeveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai. Whatever entities are born of sattva, of rajas and tamas, know them all as evolved from me. Yet still neither I am in them, nor are they in me. Very clear, isn't it? That's why I told you. That translation into English is wrong. It is casual. Swamiji has not paid sufficient attention, perhaps. So you can see Ram Sukhdas ji, see how he explains. Natvaham teshu temai. I am not in them and they are not in me. It means that those attributes have no independent existence of their own besides the Lord. All actions, objects are born and they decay. If the Lord had been in them, with their decay, he would also have decayed. But he never decays. It means that he is not in them. If they had been in him, they should also become imperishable like him. But it is not so, since they perish, while he is eternal. It means that they are not in him. As a seed takes the shape of a tree with its branches, leaves, flowers, but these cannot be perceived in it. Similarly, nature constituted of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, has origin in him, but he is not perceived in them. Actually, there is nothing else besides him. That is Vijnana. And see how Ram Sukhdas ji explains further. As clouds evolve from either, reside in either, and dissolve in it, in either, yet either remains the same without any modification. All the divine glory is described from the 8th verse up to this verse, evolve from the Lord, reside in him, and dissolve in him. But he is not in them, and they are not in him. That is, there is nothing else besides him. The Lord, by pointing out this fact, wants to warn people that they should not be entangled in worldly pleasures and prosperity, because there is nothing else besides him. So they should attach importance only to him. What a wonderful explanation. See, that is why I constantly recommend Gita Press only. Don't buy any other books. Deluded by these threefold gunas constituting nature, this whole world fails to recognize me, who am above the gunas and immutable. So if you attach importance to all these objects in the world which are suffused with sattva, rajas, tamas, then you will be born again and again. So that's the message here. Remember, there is only Krishna everywhere. But you got to play your role and acquire money too, and satisfy your desires too, but all dharmically and without any attachment. That's the most important lesson. So if you have any attachment, then rebirth is guaranteed. So the 13th one, Tribhirguna Mayair Bhavair, Tribhirguna Mayair Bhavair, Evis Sarvamidam Jagat, Mohitam Nabhijanati Mamebhyah Param Avyayam. 14th one. Verily, this divine Maya of mine, consisting of the gunas, is hard to overcome, but those who take refuge in me alone shall cross over this Maya. Devi Hiesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Evil doers and the deluded and the vilest among men, deprived of knowledge by Maya and following the way of the Asuras, they do not worship me. So the 16th one is Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinojuna artho jignasurathati jnani cha bharatharshava. 4 types of men. Here the hidden message is, if you want money, worship Krishna. 4 types of virtuous men. All of them are virtuous. The man in distress, the man seeking knowledge, the man seeking enjoyment, and best of Bharatas, the man endowed with wisdom. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinojuna artho jignasur artharthi. Now artharthi is a person seeking wealth. What is Swamiji saying here? The 16th one, man seeking enjoyment. Artharthi. Artha is wealth. So that's not exactly enjoyment. Well, wealth can get you enjoyment. So this is again a questionable translation. Of these, the wise man, ever steadfast and devoted to the one alone, is the best. For supremely dear am I to the man of wisdom, and he is to me. So here Krishna is again clarifying. Tesham jnani nityayukta eka bhaktir visishyate priyo hi jnaninotyartham aham priyo hi jnaninotyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. So, the wise man is dearest to Krishna. For supremely dear am I to the man of wisdom, and he is to me. So 16 and 17 are again very important. 18, you see. Noble indeed are they all, but the man endowed with wisdom I deem to be my very self. For steadfast in mind, he remains fixed in me alone as the supreme good. Udara sarvayevaiti jnani tvatmaiva me matam asthita sahi yuktatma mamevan uttamangatim. So the man of knowledge is the noblest of all. The man endowed with wisdom I deem to be my very self. What more confirmation you want? So the man of wisdom, that is knowledge and wisdom, is the very self of Krishna. Krishna is declaring. So if you are blindly wasting your time indulging in all kinds of rituals and practices, thinking that they are going to somehow make you happy, then you are making a mistake. If you want to be the very self of Krishna, acquire knowledge. Realize that the whole world is full of Krishna. And become a karma yogi. Work selflessly, no attachment. Don't waste time in silly rituals. And avoid that moon mia. 19. At the end of many births, the man of wisdom worships me. Realizing that Vasudeva is all rare indeed, is such a high-souled person. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. But those whose discrimination has been led astray by various desires resort to other deities, following diverse rituals constrained by their own natures. So this is a Krishna is saying what I just said some time back. कामैस्तैस्तैर् हृतज्ञाना प्रपद्यन्ते अन्यदेवता tam tam niyamamastaya prakritya niyata svaya. So your mind has been led astray by various desires. That's why you are wasting time worshipping the bureaucracy of Krishna, lower level officials. Why are you worshipping them? Of course, you can see Krishna in them, worship them, there is no problem. But remember, Krishna is supreme. So be attached to Krishna. If you are attached to Krishna, you are detached to everything useless. But if you are attached to something else other than Krishna, then you become useless and you will be born again and again. Whatever may be the form a devotee seeks to worship with faith, in that form alone I make his faith unwavering. See, Krishna's grace is so good, such that if you want to attach yourself to something, he will instill faith for that in you. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktah shraddhayarchitum ichchati tasya tasyachalam shraddham tamema vidadhamyaham. 22. Possessed of that faith, he worships that form and from it attains his desires, which are in reality granted by me alone. Again, Krishna is telling you, see, everything that any fellow gives, any lower level god, small god, petty gods, chota gods, they are all shopkeepers. Hello. The main supplier is Krishna. So, in this Walmart of Hinduism, there are many sections, many petty gods are there. You can do short services to all the petty gods, but if you are smart, you will not waste time because the main supplier is Krishna. Go to Krishna directly. Sataya shraddhaya yuktas tasyaradhanam ihate labhate cha tatah kaman mayaiva vihitan hitan. I am the supplier. They are granted by me alone. 722. Think about this now. 23. But finite is the result gained by those men of small minds. Those who worship the deities go to the deities. Those who worship me come to me. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatya alpamedhasam. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatya alpamedhasam devan devayajuyanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. So all these results that you gain by worshipping all these moonmiyas, bondamiyas and dargamiyas and all other petty deities, the results are perishable. Okay? So you will go and live with them, those deities. But if you are a Krishna Bhakta, you will dance with Krishna in Vaikuntham. Sahasrare Mahapadme Krishnena Sahamodate. 24. Not knowing my supreme nature, immutable and transcendent, foolish men think that I, the unmanifest, am endowed with a manifest form. 24. You see? Avyaktam yaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhaya parambhavamajananto mam avyayam anuttamam. Veiled by Maya, born of the gunas, I am not revealed to all. This deluded world knows me not as the unborn and eternal. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavruta mudhoyam na vijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. O Arjuna, know the beings that are of the past. I, O Arjuna, know the beings that are of the past, of the present, and are yet to come. But me, no one knows. So, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. So, Krishna has to tell all these to Arjuna because Arjuna is still a hardcore skeptic like you and me. We will believe rubbish told by charlatans, mountebanks. A charlatan is a pretender of knowledge. A mountebank is a cheat. There are so many fake Badhu, Babas and all that. We will believe all these fellows who will cheat us. But when Krishna is directly telling you, which is confirmed, Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, Madhva, and a galaxy of sons attest to this Bhagavad Gita as the supreme scripture, the quintessence of the Vedas, we won't listen to this. We have doubts. Arjuna had the similar doubts. Therefore, Krishna had to tell him all these things. After all, can't we understand God is omniscient? He knows everything. So Krishna is elaborating, I know everything, the past, present, future. Me, nobody knows. So Krishna has taken so much trouble to convince Arjuna. Though Arjuna is a constant companion, Nara Narayana. We are all actually Naras, by the way. So Arjuna is representative of all of us. All beings from their very birth, O Bharata, are deluded by the spell of the pairs of opposites arising from desire and aversion. Again, you see, this is the problem of human birth. Right from our birth, we are deluded because of this opposites. That is, heat and cold, happiness and misery. All opposites are there. Polarity. The world is full of polarities. Polarity means occupying exactly opposite positions. And the 28. But the men of virtuous deeds whose sin is ended are free from the delusion of the pairs and worship me with firm resolve. So we are using this word sin. We should stop using it. Use the word papam. Sin is a silly Christian concept. Sin is the act of disobedience of Adam and Eve by eating that fruit of knowledge. And after they ate that fruit of knowledge, God kicked them out of paradise. And my position is, we should always eat the fruits of knowledge only, not the fruits of ignorance. So it's a strange dogma. And that act of disobedience is called sin. And according to Christian dogma, Adam is representative of all humans, and therefore his sin is incurred by all humans. So that is why every human is a born sinner. Therefore, this word sin is a dangerous word. It's a dumb word, irrational word. Stop using it. We should use the word papa. 29. Those who take refuge in me to gain release from old age and death, they will come to know Brahman. They will come to know all about the individual soul and all about action as well. And those who know me as the one that underlies all the elements, as the one that underlies all the gods, and as the one that sustains all the sacrifices, will, with steadfast mind, know me even in the hour of death. So this is the last shloka of the 7th chapter, 730. Sadhi bhutadi daivam mam sadhi yajnam cha ye viduhu prayana kalepi cha mam te vidur yukta chetasa. Those in full consciousness of me who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all the methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So, Krishna is telling you very clearly, don't waste your time here and there. He governs all the laws and he is the enjoyer of all the yajnas also. So worship him. When you know this much, why are you wasting your time going to all kinds of, especially those dargahs are really detestable places. Somebody's bones are buried there. Moon Mia, Dargah Mia, Bonda Mia, what kind of nonsense is this? If you waste your human birth, that too as a Hindu, then you are really incorrigible. Be careful. Krishna has given you so many warnings already in this chapter. Study Bhagavad Gita and do Krishna bhajan, chant Krishna Nama, but keep working. Lazily chanting from morning till night, becoming hungry and eating lot of food is the last thing Krishna would recommend. There are many organizations which are doing just that. You should work, be a karma yogi. There is a lot of work. Krishna also worked. Krishna never sat at one place or danced continuously, happily doing bhajan and all that. Yeah, you can do bhajan while you are working also. Jai Shri Ram.